Today we're going to answer one of the most exciting hypothetical questions in modern boxing. Prime Mike Tyson versus Prime Oleksandr Usyk. Who would win? Before we begin, an important note. This is a purely theoretical analysis. Both boxers come from different eras, with different training methods, opponents, and sporting conditions. The result may vary depending on perspective, the weighting of individual categories, or the fight scenario. The aim is to provide a well-founded, fair assessment, not an absolute verdict. When we talk about Prime Mike Tyson, we are referring primarily to the period from 1986 to 1989. Tyson was in his early 20s at the time, the undisputed champion, and arguably the most explosive heavyweight of his era. His peekaboo style, with extreme head movement, explosive angles, and brutal combinations, made him virtually uncontrollable in the early rounds. A perfect example is his fight against Trevor Berbick in 1986. Tyson cuts off the ring, ducks under the punches, and ends the fight with a combination that literally makes Berbick buckle twice. Or the knockout against Michael Spinks in 1988. Spinks was the champion and technically strong. The fight lasted 91 seconds. Tyson literally exploded. It is precisely this early destructive potential that is at the heart of his victory scenario against Usyk. But there are other examples too. Tyson beat Tony Tucker on points. Tucker had reach, clinched cleverly, and forced Tyson to go the distance. Tyson dominated, but it wasn't a quick knockout. It becomes even clearer in 1990 against Buster Douglas. Douglas survived the early rounds, working with jabs and distance, and Tyson lost his structure. This shows that if he doesn't impose his rhythm early on, he can get tactically overwhelmed. Now to Oleksandr Usyk's prime, in the heavyweight division around 2023 to 2024. Usyk is an Olympic champion, former undisputed cruiserweight champion, and unified heavyweight world champion. His style is based on movement, rhythm changes, and precise distance control. A prime example is his first fight against Anthony Joshua in 2021. Many expected Joshua's larger physique to make the difference. Instead, Usyk controlled the fight with footwork, angle changes, and timing. In round 12, he even clearly dominated Joshua, a sign of his endurance level in the heavyweight division. In the rematch, he confirmed this adaptability once again when he responded tactically to Joshua's pressure phases. Usyk's quality became even more apparent in his fights with Tyson Fury. Fury is taller, heavier, and has an enormous reach. Nevertheless, Usyk managed to break him with changes of pace and combinations. The middle rounds in particular showed how Usyk finds solutions against physically dominant heavyweights. He doesn't just win technically, he wins mentally. Physically, Usyk has clear advantages. At 1.91 meters, he is significantly taller than Tyson, who is 1.78 meters. His reach is also clearly on his side at around 1.98 meters, compared to Tyson's approximately 1.80 meters. In terms of weight, both are around 100 kilograms in their prime. This means that Tyson gives up height and reach, but not mass. In concrete terms, this means that Usyk can theoretically work from a distance, while Tyson must close the distance. Let's look at speed. Tyson was incredibly explosive in the early rounds. His first combination often came faster than his opponents could react. His transitions from body shots to head hooks were particularly brutal and efficient. Usyk, on the other hand, is not explosive in the sense of a 1-2 flash, but he is consistently fast. His footwork is one of the best in modern heavyweight boxing. He shifts angles, breaks the rhythm, and changes tempo. Over 12 rounds, Usyk is the more consistent athlete, while Tyson is likely to make the greater impact in the first 4 rounds. Tyson has a clear advantage in terms of punching power. He was one of the most dangerous knockout fighters of all time. His combinations at medium range, especially his left hook to the body followed by a right uppercut, could end fights instantly. Usyk is not a classic one-punch knockout artist in the heavyweight division. He accumulates effective hits, breaking his opponents physically and mentally over time. He wears them down. So the key question here is, can Tyson finish him early, before Usyk establishes control? Let's move on to ring IQ and adaptability. This is where it gets more complex. Usyk has proven time and again throughout his career that he can adapt game plans on the fly. He reads opponents, recognizes patterns, and changes pace and distance. Tyson in his prime was dominant when his pressure worked. He was less tested in long tactical chess games against mobile elite technicians in their absolute prime. When Tyson was successful early on, he was almost unstoppable. However, when an opponent frustrated him and survived the initial storm waves, he lost some of his structural dominance. Let's simulate the fight. In rounds 1 through 3, Tyson comes out of the corner explosively. Lots of pressure, lots of head movement, lots of attempts to push Usyk to the ropes. Usyk moves laterally, uses the jab from the southpaw position, and clinches situationally when Tyson gets too close. It is realistic that Tyson will win at least one, maybe even two of these early rounds through aggression and effective punches. From round 4 onwards, the fight begins to turn around. Usyk finds his rhythm. He starts to use his jab systematically, follows up with a left straight, shifts his angle slightly outward so that Tyson often punches into thin air. Tyson has to work harder to close the distance. Every missed attack costs energy. The critical point comes between rounds 7 and 9. If Tyson hasn't done any decisive damage by then, Usyk will increasingly take control. His world-class cardio allows him to keep up the pace. Tyson remains dangerous at all times. A single clean combination can end it all. But statistically, his explosive advantage decreases slightly with each round. In championship rounds 10 to 12, I see Usyk having the endurance advantage. He remains structured, disciplined, and mentally clear. Tyson can still apply pressure, but less efficiently. Usyk scores with clean hits, footwork, and distance control. When we distribute probabilities, I arrive at roughly the following picture. Tyson via knockout within the first 6 rounds, about 35%. Usyk via clear but hard-fought points decision, about 60%. A dramatic scenario with knockdowns on both sides, maybe 5%. My probable outcome: Usyk wins over 12 rounds, for example 116 to 112. Range, ring IQ, adaptability, and endurance are the decisive factors. But Prime Tyson is probably one of the most dangerous early round fighters in history. If he catches Usyk cleanly early on, this scenario could be overturned. And that's exactly why this duel is so exciting. It's the clash between explosive destructive power and tactical mastery, between early chaos and long-term control. Now the question for you is, will Usyk survive the first 6 rounds? Or will Tyson catch him decisively before then? And if you want to see more of these theoretical duels, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.